What's going on YouTube? So in just a few short years since their introduction, the Toyota Grand Highlander and Lexus TX have sprung to the top of their respective segments. But as many of you know, these two products are related in many key ways.
So we figured it would be a great time to revisit this popular cross shop once again to answer the question, is it worth the extra money for the luxury Lexus TX? Let's go ahead and find out. We'll be sure to talk about that Toyota versus Lexus price discrepancy later in detail. But for now, we'll be comparing the base engine options today in their top trim levels, which tend to be a popular configuration for most buyers. If you're looking to buy either of them, make sure to check out carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price and access to invoice pricing information. Starting with the exteriors, it's no secret that these two products are related to one another. And in fact, they're built on the same assembly line in Indiana. However, they still have their own unique design elements. The Toyota goes for a tougher and boxier look, a popular style for many mainstream buyers. Meanwhile, the TX has a unified spindle grille, which is body colored for a cleaner look. We won't score the designs, but let us know which one you'd pick in the comments down below. However, we will score the many features and differences throughout, starting with the headlamps. While the Lexus omits their signature triple beam design, all lighting elements are projector LEDs on both, including LED fog lamps below. Next up is the wheels, where our TX as equipped outsizes the Grand Highlander by 2 inches, with 22-inch alloys versus 20s. We will, of course, discuss ride quality later on to see if this difference truly matters. By the way, feel free to keep your own score along the way, based on what's most important to you. At the side, bumper and fascia differences mean that the TX is slightly longer than the Grand Highlander, but that doesn't change that each of them are one of the largest in their respective segments. We'll talk about packaging and space later on to see if there are any major differences though. And while not a scoreable element, keep in mind your tolerance to matte black cladding, as the Lexus uses very little throughout. Moving to the rears, the family resemblance continues with identical features including small upper spoilers, exposed wipers, and fully LED tail lamp clusters. Towing-wise, both models can handle up to 5,000 pounds. While the mirrors on both include heating, blind spot monitoring, and power folding, only the Lexus includes auto-dimming. Continuing with the trend of safety, both also include their brand's latest active safety features. This will include things like a traffic jam assist function for hands-free driving at under 25 miles per hour, but only the Lexus will have remote smart parking via your smartphone. Now there are plenty of differences to discuss in the cabins as well, so let's get into that. But first,
If you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12 and 16. We started young and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point. No matter what you're looking for, from our long-term vehicle videos to our side-by-side comparisons, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars.
walking up to them, each has their brand's respective key fobs with standard smart entry with remote start capability. Interestingly, the TX has electronic door handles, so the handle itself won't move when you grab it. Opening up the doors, we are greeted with plush yet practical cabins for the fam. However, the Lexus is the plusher of the two, since its seats are covered in high-end semi-aniline leather versus the standard leather in the Toyota. And its seats are also 14-way power adjusting with power thigh extension instead of 10-ways. Regardless though, both have heating, ventilation, and memory. Once inside, we can get into the overall materials and build quality, which we'll divide into two distinct categories. While both are incredibly solid, these two have an interesting use of materials. As equipped, it's the Grand Highlander that has more luxurious material selections, with ample use of leather and a faux wood trim. But when you start to poke and prod at them, it's the TX with a nicer feeling cabin that's more plush, though it only uses a couple inches of real wood on the lower console area. Because of this, Toyota will take the materials point and the Lexus the solidity point. After startup, you'll see 12.3-inch digital gauge clusters on both, with slightly different graphics. Both also have large head-up displays, and moving back, both have leather-wrapped heated steering wheels. Only the Lexus has power adjustment, though. Now let's analyze interior storage, which are areas that the Grand Highlander excels in. In the console, the Toyota can fit a full 24 donuts, with the Lexus 3 behind at 21. Beyond consoles, they have lots of cubbies and some under-console space. But Grand Highlander also has a large passenger storage shelf in addition. While the Lexus isn't small by any means, and even has removable cup holders, the Toyota takes the win in both measures here. They have wireless phone chargers, and while they have different style shifters as equipped today, they have identical 360-degree cameras in reverse. Moving up the dash, they also share 3-zone climate control systems, but the Toyota is easier to use with full physical knobs and buttons. Both have physical volume knobs though, so let's give them a sample. As you might expect, the Mark Levinson system is going to be far ahead of the JBL and has nearly twice the speakers. Simply put, if you care about audio, you'll want the Lexus. Moving to the screens, the Lexus outsizes the Toyota, with 14 inches over 12.3 inches. Size aside, they have the newest Toyota infotainment system, with navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Finally, up top, both models have digital camera rearview mirrors and large panoramic sunroofs. Perhaps most important are the rear spaces of these two, so let's see if there are any packaging differences. For the second row of seats, they share the same massive leg and headroom measurements, and even adults will fit with ease. They also pack a lot of features back here, so let's start with the seats. As equipped, we have reclining, sliding, heating, and ventilated captain's chairs for the ultimate passenger experience. If you want bench seating, it is worth noting actually only the TX offers it on this top trim level. For the rest of the features, they share vents, USBs, climate controls, sunshades, and removable center consoles. But only the Toyota includes a household power outlet back here, which requires a different TX model than what we have today. Now for the third rows. Again, we have the same space figures, which are extremely impressive for their segments. Few manage to even come close to these figures, especially the TX's competitors. But there are some differences to discuss. Lexus opts for 2 wider third-row seats, versus 3 across in the Toyota. That means overall seating capacity can be higher in the Grand Highlander, at 8 people, for those who have maximum friends and family. Features-wise, both have rear vents, USB ports, cup holders, and reclining abilities. Now let's open the hands-free power tailgates to check out the large cargo areas. While the Grand Highlander has an ever so slight space advantage, it's not greater than the 5% required to score a point. This means both of them will have incredibly spacious cargo areas, at almost 100 cubic feet as a maximum. The only thing that's going to set the Lexus apart from the Toyota is the power-folding third row, which makes accessing the additional space a breeze. Alright, that's it for the interiors. So now let's take this close fight out to the streets. Throughout this comparison, we have seen a lot of elements that these platform mates share, as well as differences between them. Under the hoods, we turn back to similarities. In their base configurations, both the Grand Highlander and TX are powered by a turbocharged inline 4-cylinder, making slightly different outputs due to the TX asking for premium fuel. However, the burden of luxury comes in the form of weight, so the Toyota is ever so slightly quicker to 60 miles per hour, though not noticeable for most.
there is our acceleration to 60 miles per hour with the Grand Highlander. So like we mentioned at the spec dump, one of the things that honestly make the Grand Highlander stand out a lot against the competition is that you have a wide variety of powertrain choices, and you can just pick what matches your lifestyle the best. Now, what's standard is what we're driving today. This is the 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This makes 265 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. All right, that's 60 miles per hour with this Lexus TX 350. So like we discussed at the beginning in the spec dump, this is available in 3 different powertrain options. They're all 3 quite distinct from each other, and you can just kind of, match with what your lifestyle is. This is the version most people are going to walk away from the dealership with. It's the TX 350. Like I said, it's the 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine.
Paired to the same engine is the same 8-speed automatic, which we find to perform well in day-to-day driving. Our testers both have all-wheel drive as equipped.
Now, as far as the transmission is concerned, we've got an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is also nice and smooth and a good partner with this powertrain. Let's talk a little bit about the transmission situation as well while we wait at this next red light. You have 3 different transmissions for the 3 different powertrains. This is the 8-speed automatic.
Let's also talk about handling and ride quality. While not all that fast, these 2 actually hold their own on a back road considering their size. But ride quality is what truly matters here. Both are some of the best for being smooth and comfortable on almost every road condition. In these configurations, neither tester offers adaptive dampers, which means they're pretty much identical. Also going to be great with the Grand Highlander is your ride quality. So as you saw just there with the bridge abutment, we have really great ride on this vehicle. So we're sitting at 20-inch wheels on the outside. You have really soft and supportive seats up here in the front, and the suspension just does a great job. Now, they're not going to have anything fancy going on with adaptive dampers or anything like that, but they've just really done a good job of tuning the suspension to be exactly what families are wanting. Now, as you probably expect, this vehicle is luxury focused, and you can definitely feel that when it comes to ride quality. As soon as you sit in these seats, you just kind of melt in. These luxury seats are fantastic seats, and also the suspension is tuned so nicely here in this luxury variant. It really does a great job of soaking up the bumps, and even despite us having the optional 22s on the outside, it still rides really nicely. So, in addition to having comfy rides, let's talk about the noise levels in the cabins. Once again, they are neck and neck when it comes to being ridiculously quiet, but the Lexus has the edge. It achieved 51.7 decibels at 55 miles per hour, which is just greater than the 1 decibel difference noticeable to the average adult. Very nicely done. 52.8 decibels is what we are sitting at. Very good. Wow, 51.7 decibels is what we are sitting at in the Lexus TX 350. And lastly, for fuel economy, there is hardly a difference when you are sporting the same engine and transmission. However, you will be paying more at the pump in the Lexus that requires premium fuel. In our reviews and comparisons, we are also adding in reliability and resale information to give you a better picture of the overall value beyond just the original MSRP. Beginning with reliability, we developed the Combined Reliability Index, which takes into account several studies from trustworthy sources and combines them in a way that gives you a more realistic picture. In this respect, these 2 excel. Toyota takes the #1 spot for all vehicle brands, 15 spots above industry average, giving it 3 points. While Lexus takes the #1 luxury brand spot and is 11 spots above average, giving it plus 2.2 points. Related to that, Lexus ups the luxury with a longer basic and powertrain warranty, though both offer 2 years of complimentary maintenance. We also put my economics degree to work by developing a detailed predicted resale value tool. After 5 years and 60,000 miles, both do pretty well. The Toyota comes in at a predicted resale percent of 64.5%, and the Lexus, as usual with luxury cars, comes in less at 53.8%. That roughly 11% difference will give the Toyota plus 2.2 points. Now the big question. Do the extra features justify the extra price? Well, neither the Grand Highlander or the Lexus TX are the cheapest in their respective segments, meaning you might experience some sticker shock at the dealership. As such, the more affordable Toyota comes in at a hair over $60,000, and the Lexus Texas at over $73,000. Let's account for the price difference using our scale. This $12,910 difference will give the Grand Highlander plus 6.5 points, according to our scale, since buyers at this price point are still semi-price conscious. We want to emphasize that if money, reliability, or resale value matter less to you personally, feel free to disregard these points.
So there you have it, the objective winner. Do you agree? Well, let's go over some reasons you might personally pick each one based on what's most important to you, and then Mason and I will both tell you which one we would put in our driveway. So you should probably pick the TX if you're looking for the extra luxury goodies, as you would expect, including things with extra seat adjustments as well as a power folding third row. Also, you get longer warranty coverage in the Lexus product, and the audio system with Mark Levinson is a big step up.
Now, on the flip side, you should choose the Grand Highlander if you want that cheaper price point. In this comparison, it is quite a bit less expensive. It also has better resale and reliability, as typical with a mainstream brand compared to a luxury one, and you also have more interior storage. Now, speaking of these areas where one is excelling over the other, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. We've looked at numerous vehicle segments, such as the mainstream 3-row segment, the luxury 3-row segment as well, and ranked each of the options in those segments in specific categories that matter most to this type of buyer. Things like third row, cargo capacity, interior luxury, powertrain choices, and value are all detailed for you on our website, and you can see the best options in each of those categories. So if you want to make an informed buying decision, definitely go to carconfections.com/vehicle ranking and use our tools there. But which are we going to put in our driveways? I'll kick us off and just say that I would take the Toyota Grand Highlander because in this comparison, I think they're very similar in a lot of respects. And when it comes to interior materials and stuff, I don't know if the Lexus TX is as big of an upgrade as what the price point would maybe suggest.
Yeah, sometimes we have a split decision on at the end of these comparisons, but this is not one of those cases. I 100% agree with what Mason said. It just doesn't seem like there's quite enough to justify the huge price jump unless you're really looking for those specific things that we talked about.
Now, if you're looking to buy the Toyota Grand Highlander, Lexus TX, or any new vehicle, we'd also like to encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you should do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool to use while dealership negotiating. If you'd like to take advantage of that, as well as things like our monthly payment tool, you can find a link to that down below in our video description, as well as a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that's going to be where we wrap up this comparison. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, we'd like to encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be a part of our Car Confections family, and we have a lot of fun on this channel, and I promise you won't want to miss out. We also do a lot of cool reviews that you won't want to miss out on, including things like the Lexus TX and Grand Highlander. And if you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.